Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Mind your business. Only on Money FM 89.3.
Welcome to Mind Your Business on The Breakfast Show with me, Audrey Seek. And are you guys ready for a little escape this morning? Because today we're leaving the office blocks and city buzz behind and heading to a quiet, leafy corner of Singapore. There's a little cafe tucked away on a hidden street near Dhoby Ghaut. And when you step in, you smell freshly baked tarts and low-simmered gochujang. This is Lilac Oak, and behind the counter, you'll find everything is plant-based, vegan, and made by hand. And today, we're not just talking about the food, we're talking about building a business born from love with a menu shaped by family, care, and intention. So let's welcome Chloe Lee, the founder and the woman behind Lilac Oak Cafe. Good morning, Chloe.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
It's great to have you on. I love talking about food, so happy to have you on the show. Let's rewind to the very beginning, Chloe. Back to your parents' kitchen. I believe that was when you spent your childhood baking vegan tarts and hand delivering them yourself as well. What was that spark, that moment where you thought, this is it, I want to build Lilac Oak?
So I actually wanted a cafe, a lifestyle cafe to be exact, since I was in my teens. My mom, becoming Buddhist vegetarian and subsequently fully vegan, actually gave me the direction and the concept towards what my cafe would look like. So Lilac Oak was never just a cafe. It was built on community, sustainability, and happiness. A lot of how we work and what we do in a cafe is shaped by how we live and how we cook at home.
Okay. So the cafe didn't launch with a big bang, right? Because it was born in the middle of COVID, just after circuit breaker, I believe. So you were also navigating new motherhood as well at the time. Congratulations, by the way. So that's a lot all at once. So what gave you the courage kind of to move forward at such a volatile time with such a deeply personal project,
I believe there's never a perfect time for venturing out and doing something of your own. And I actually do think that launching right after the COVID circuit breaker helped in terms of how we transit from without an F&B background. So I had no F&B experience. It was just me and my aunt helping me out. And we launched after COVID circuit breaker, meaning that we could only do takeouts and delivery. So that slower pace actually helped us to sort out operation flow, sort out the menu. We were able to change and tweak menus according to what our customers would like. So it actually gave us time to adjust. And by the time when dining was allowed, our operations were able to flow really smoothly. So I think there's always something to take away at the end of the day. There's never a right time. So when you want to do it, I would say just go for it.
So we talked about Lilac Oak being in a bit of a hidden part of Singapore. Even though it's in Dhoby Ghaut, which is quite central, you have to kind of navigate your way through a residential area. How do you market your business for a place that doesn't have natural footfall?
I started home-based, so my very first pool of customers was all the people who actually bought from me while I was having the business at home.
Okay.
And when we started, it was a lot of social media marketing. And thankfully, we also had a bit of an organic pickup from Lian He Zhao Bao, who actually covered us on what vegan food is like now, today, and what we offer. So that was really lucky. I guess, at the end of the day, it's still a lot of content creation, social media. That's the only, I would say, free organic channel that we have now.
Okay. So speaking of vegan food and what you guys offer, for those who have never been to Lilac Oak, how would you describe the kind of food that you serve? And how do you strike that balance between, honoring tradition from creating something new and modern, which we have seen from vegan food nowadays? You kind of have to constantly innovate.
I would say our food reminds us of the comfort of home. So it's not something fancy you get at a restaurant, but when you eat it, you feel nourished. I would like people to feel nourished both in the body and the soul. So our food is really clean. We abstain from mock meats or patties that are made from a lab, because I do think that those made in the lab do contain chemicals and preservatives that naturally I don't want my customers or my family to put into their bodies. So we work a lot with whole foods. Our protein comes from tofu, tempeh, lentils, chickpeas. There are a lot of things that we can do with vegetables as well, depending on how we treat them, and we ferment, roast. Different ways of experimenting actually give us different textures. Yeah, that's how we work around things.
Okay, so whole plant-based foods, and I do notice a bit of Korean influence as well in the menu. Can you talk to us about that?
I think, okay, so we are not like Korean influence, but like my mom actually challenged me to make a vegan, alien-free kimchi that she could consume. So most of the kimchi out there has a lot of seafood, onion and garlic. So that was the things that we had to avoid when creating a kimchi that she could eat.
I see.
Yeah, so that was one of the first things that she challenged me to R&D in the kitchen back then at home. So I thought I already had a very good kimchi recipe, so why not make use of it? And from there on, we kind of like created our bibimbap and our gochujang rosé pani.
Okay, very interesting. And nowadays we're in a world obsessed with speed and efficiency and automation. And you've chosen to keep things small and handmade and kind of slow moving. So why stick to the traditional approach when it's so easy to like cut corners when it comes to these things?
Because I do feel like a QR code ordering system would save a lot of manpower and training on my stuff, but it gives a very cold and hard feeling. So we still stick to like a paper menu, no striking LEDs. I think that gives you a sense of comfort, especially when you're on your phone, on your screens all the time.
Yeah.
So when you come in, you look at paper menu, it gives you a different kind of emotion when you touch and feel real things. And you order at the counter with us. We get to know your name. We can ask, how was your day? Has it been great? We remember their names and we know okay, you have a certain allergy. We are able to remember their favorite menu. So these are little things, the little touch points that I think it helps connect people. And I also do believe that when you speak to people, your energies rub off each other. When we can speak to you and talk to you and know that, this is your favorite drink, I guess that would make your day better. And when you leave, you would be able to say hey, thank you, the food was really good. And that gives us lots of energy as well. We rub off each other's energy both ways.
Yeah, okay. So you seem to have a very good relationship with your customers. Do you have kind of loyal following that you see all of the time? Or do you see more and more, new customers coming in as well?
I think it does both. So for new customers, of course, it's a lot of marketing. You've got to work hard on your social content and like coming on radio.
Yeah.
But for regulars, we do see them at least once a week, I would say. And I wouldn't say that they are all vegetarians or vegans. A lot of them are also meat eaters who come in for their once a while, weekly or monthly detox. And I think that says a lot about the whole vegan scene, how things have been transforming. And to me, I feel more fulfillment and accomplishment when a meat eater actually acknowledges and say that, hey, the sandwich was really good, or the bibimbap was really fulfilling for me. So.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask about that. What Singapore's reception is to vegan food nowadays. I remember the times when we were automatically like, I would prefer real meat, no thank you. And now I feel like it's kind of changing a little bit.
Yes, it's switching a lot. People are more willing to accept and try. I think it makes a lot of difference when things are made from whole foods instead of from an Impossible meat, for example. Because like an Impossible meat and a beef burger could actually cost the same amount of money in a restaurant. So when you look at that, I guess, why would you try an Impossible burger? So that kind of steers you away from wanting to try a vegan or a plant-based meal. So I think it's quite important in the sense the kind of food that we put in and the price point that relates to that.
Yeah.
It actually helps people to be more open-minded to try.
Okay. So on the business side of things, running a small cafe in Singapore isn't easy. How did you manage the financial side of things? What were some of the big aha moments or learning curves along the way?
So when we first started, I spent the minimum amount in terms of renovation. I did a lot of sourcing from China. My furniture was from China. We are now 4 years in. So actually, when we first started, it was very minimalistic, right? And then throughout the years, we add on things. As we go along, we know okay, customers prefer this kind of touch and feel. That's how I add on bit by bit. So I would say just spend the minimum that you can. You start running. You don't have to really aim for like, I need to go splurge a big, full, fancy cafe. But more like letting the customers also see your journey and your growth. I think that's quite important as well.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think being a woman also has kind of helped shape your experience in Singapore's food scene? And do you feel like Lilac Oak adds something different to the conversation when it comes to, woman-led, purpose-driven businesses and what those can look like?
I think being a woman, you have to navigate through a lot of things. Like you can be nurturing, but you're also creative and business savvy, and you're able to scale. And I think it helped a lot ever since I became a mother, because I personally feel like things have become more intimate. I'm more attuned to it, to the energies, and those energies flow into Lilac Oak today. I do hope that seeing like how Lilac Oak is a success would actually help encourage other women to lead their way and pursue after what they want.
Okay. Finally, how would you like people to remember Lilac Oak? Not just for the food, but for the feeling that it leaves them with.
Yeah, I would like people to remember Lilac Oak by how they feel when they come in and when they leave. Not so much about like just coming into a space to eat, which is also why everything is a lot of handwritten, back to your pen and paper. When you step in, you feel like a slower pace of life, like something different from when you are out, eating a restaurant, ordering from your QR codes. Everything is very fast. Like you just come in, you eat, and you get chased out, right? Because a high turnover. Yeah, so I would like people to remember Lilac Oak as a place where they feel comfortable, a place of comfort. When they come in, they feel like, this is a community where everyone remembers each other's faces, your names, your orders, and we strike conversations like friends do.
Yeah. So I don't want to rush through this, of course, but if someone is listening in right now who wants to start their own business, who wants to start not just a cafe, but, something of their own, what would be the one piece of advice you'd give them? Did I put you on the spot? I'm sorry.
I would say growth takes time. Just ensure that you don't get burnt out throughout your process. Because once you get burnt out, your brand or your business gets burnt out too, and that energy translates to the customers or whoever you're serving.
Okay.
So always pace yourself. When you need to rest, you deserve a rest.
Okay, pace yourself. And this was a great reminder that building a business can be an act of creativity and connection. And big thanks to Chloe Lee, founder and Culinary Director of Lilac Oak, for joining us this morning. Thank you so much, Chloe.
Thank you for having me.
Have
a great day.
You too. Keep it here on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.